Hello sunshines, welcome to Bunnyfish Crafts. I'm your host Heather, known as Bunnyfish, all over the internet places. And today I am excited to talk about another challenge. I know, I'm all about challenges right now. It's almost summer. And in summer, I have time to do challenges. And this summer, I am going to try to do a challenge that I failed at last summer. I'm not mad that I failed at it. I tried the 100 days challenge and it was the first time I did it. So let's start there. It was the first time I did a 100-day challenge, and I did not set myself up for success because I didn't know what realistic parameters would be. I set some goals. They were not realistic. So the problem was I was working summer school and I went on a vacation, and my goal was to work for an hour on certain things. And then I finished some projects, so then I had to sub in new projects, and it was fine, but it needed to be tweaked. Sometimes that happens, right? So this year, I'm going to do the 100 days project again, and I am really, really excited about it. I'm going to change some things up. But before anything else, can I just show you how cute this spread is in my journal? Look at her. She's so cute. I had these I'm not a flower person, but I got some floral, what is this called? Scrapbooking paper in preparation for having a journal club next year at school. And so I cut up the scrapbook paper into like half sheets so that whatever, if you work with kids, you know. But this was the cover art, and I was like, that's just so pretty. And this was the happy crafting was part of the cover art too. So I was like, oh yes, I need that. So anyway, 100 days. I am going to start it on my birthday on May 28th. And it runs through September 4th for me. So that's a long time. 100 days is a long time. Anybody with the spices, I feel like, can tell you that doing something for that long of a time is a real challenge. I really struggle with maintaining a routine for that long. So a change that I'm making right off the top is, instead of doing the 100 days project for an hour, that was my goal last year, I'm cutting it back to 30 minutes approximately. 30 minutes of work on a project, that's much more doable. The projects will still see a lot of growth, but figuring out 30 minutes is way more manageable. I also decided to focus in on my scrappy blankets this summer. Last summer, I had like all sorts of different kinds of projects that I wanted to work on, but the focus is going to be scrappy blankets. I do not have 10 scrappy blankets anymore. I did at one point, but I don't have that many anymore. So my plan is as follows. At some point every day when I'm feeling like it, I am going to look at the temperature for the day, or for that moment, really. I'm not doing a highs or lows. I'm doing like at the moment I look. And the digit in the ones place is going to determine what project I'm going to work on. So if the temperature ends with a 1, I'm going to work on my mitered square blanket, which is this right here. So my plan is to make a square when I pick it up. One square takes me a little more than half an hour, but not a ton more than half an hour. So it'll just be a good little addition to the blanket, and then work on whatever I'm feeling. I guess caveat, I can work on these scrappy projects whenever. I don't have to like wait until the temperature is called to work on it. But if the temperature is called for that project, that's the one that I will definitely be putting 30 minutes on. So 1 is mitered square blanket. 2 is my barn raising square blanket. And this blanket is so beautiful, and it's just not the work that I want to be doing. It's not its fault, because look at this. Is that not gorgeous? It is. It's absolutely gorgeous. But I'm not putting it together. So my plan will just be to add 1 square to the blanket, as many of the seams as I can do, and knit in the little nugget of yarn, because I am... Okay, story time. Let's see if I can find a non-joined square really quick. I should have some in here. Let's see if I can find one quick though. Okay. Here is a square. It is blocked, and I thought when I started this blanket that I was going to mattress stitch the squares together so they're all bordered in this black. And then I started mattress stitching them together, and I hated the way it looked. I thought it looked so sloppy, and it was not cute at all. So then I decided that I was going to use Kitchener to sew the blanket squares together. Beautiful. Love it. It's so smooth. It looks so good. But that means that I have to undo the bind off on all of the squares and then Kitchener the square in. I actually don't hate the process. But I also don't want to do the process because in my brain, this is a finished thing. And so now I have to undo it, but it's fine. And then the border, I am picking up, well, I'm not picking up stitches. I'm working into the live stitches on the end and doing an applied garter stitch border with a little I-cord on the edge, using the extra bits from when I pull this out, because I don't need all of the yarn that I use to bind off. So it's going to be beautiful. It's really lovely already. I just am not working on it. And I want it to be a complete thing eventually. So it's not high priority. I have other blankets that need to be finished first, but I do need to actually work on it if it's ever going to get done. So 1 square when it is called up. Then I have my hexie blanket, which I'm going to set a timer for that one and actually sew in as much as I can in 30 minutes. I don't really anticipate making many of the half hexies that I need for the edge, although it's not out of the realm of possibility. But I'll probably just be making those as I'm using up my yarns from my basket. So yeah, I think it's going to be a 30-minute timer to sew in as many of the hexies that I have made already, because that one is on a pretty tight deadline. I had a sneezing attack and I had to get up to get tissue anyway, so I guess I should show you my hexie blanket. My beekeeper's quilt is what it's actually called. And this is the side that I'm adding to. Let's see. This is the top edge. This is the side that is Is it finished? Did I do a whole length down? I can't remember if I made it the entire length. No, I figured out the entire width. And so now I'm filling in. So wouldn't it be cool if this blanket, if this big hole right here was all filled in by the end of summer? It would be cool. It's fine though if it's not, but it would be cool. I don't know if I said this, the barn raising square would be if the temperature ended in 2, the hexie would be if the temperature ended in 3, and if the temperature ends in 4, I want to work on my flower blanket for my little. I probably have all of the flowers made for it. I don't know, I haven't done the math yet to see how many flowers I need total. I have no idea how many flowers I have in, let's see, this one and that one. These glass jars over here, right here. I have no idea. I have a bunch, but my goal will be to add 3 flowers to the blanket. When this temperature pops up, I think that's a pretty good goal. I think it's so cute. And this does have a definite deadline, but it's not for another 3 years. So just getting a start on it so I don't have to panic and put together all of the flowers all at once, because I would not like that. I would hate that. A big push at the end is fine, but having to do all of it at once, no, I don't want to do that. If the temperature ends in a 5, I want to work on my bias strip blanket. So if you're looking for something like this, Skinanigans, who does the Nor'easterly, also does a blanket. I think it's called True North, maybe. That I may have made that up. I don't know. They have a, I think, yeah, we'll say they have a pattern that is something on the bias, or looks like it's on the bias. I don't know. I don't have that pattern. I started this blanket way before that pattern came out. But I want to put 5 ridges on every time this project comes up. I think that's a good goal. This blanket's going to be super, super beautiful. I do think I'm going to do a blanket tour where you can see like the actual everything I have for my blankets in June. I think that would be cool. Instead of just seeing like, oh, just a little tiny, no, this blanket has significant progress on it. You just haven't seen it. So look for that in June. But I am hoping to make even more significant progress on it over the summer in total. I don't know if 5 ridges, I don't think 5 ridges takes me 30 minutes for the bias strip. I should probably do 10 ridges. 10 ridges is probably closer to 30 minutes. Okay, it's going to be 10 ridges on the bias strip. Yes. So nor'easterly will be when the temperature ends in a 6, and I have this part of the nor'easterly finished. So it's 7 panels, right? Yeah. So it's 7 panels together. So what I want to do is continue working on the nor'easterly panels that I'm working on, but I also started doing the border on what I have together because I want to do an I-cord border, and I do not like doing I-cord borders. But I love the way that they look. Hold on, I'm trying to find where I'm at so you can see. Where is it? Here it is. So I just barely started. Doing an I-cord bind off on the top, so that necessitated pulling out the bind off that I had done along the top because I didn't know that I wanted to do an I-cord bind off. So now I have ends that I need to weave in. but like this needs to be bound off. So my plan is to do 10 stitches bound off, which is actually 30 stitches of knitting, and then 9 rows on the nor'easterly, or 9 ridges, 9 garter ridges. So it's not going to get like a ton work on the border, but it will get some work. I will be like, yes, I need to work on that. And I will, I'll also get to do like the fun part of knitting on a panel. However, I'm not going to take this whole big part with me on vacation. We're probably maybe going on vacation at some point, I think. So only the strips will get put on if that gets pulled up while we're doing vacation, and I'll come back and do the border because I have integrity. I'll do it when we get back. The yarn that I'm using for the border is something that I got from a friend. They sent it to me last year. They sent me 2 skeins of this Queen's Craft Essence of Rose, which is so pretty. I only like pink if it's with green, and this is gorgeous. If the temperature ends in a 7, I am going to work on the Jelly Roll blanket, and it also has the border started because I really do love an I-cord border. I do not like doing I-cord, but it looks so pretty. Look how pretty that looks, and it looks so finished and just excellent. So my plan is, when this comes up, I'm going to do, you guessed it, 10 garter or 10 stitches worth of the I-cord using this beautiful yarn. Look how pretty that is. It is Knitted Wit Victory Sock in the colorway Fairy Garden. It's so pretty. I have 2 skeins of this too, just in case, because I am holding the yarn together in triples. So hopefully I have enough. If not, whatever, the end of the border will be something else pretty. So yeah, I'm gonna do 10 stitches, and then like I'm gonna start a 30-minute timer when I start doing those stitches, and then whatever else I have will just be working into the rows of the blanket. If the temperature ends in 8, I am going to work on my Totoro Starry Night blanket, which is these little teeny squares. And I'm going to do 2 squares if this is the project for the day. They're so cute. I'm so excited for this blanket that's going to take me 10 years to make. It's going to be so worth it. I have this motif, and I have this motif going, so those are the 2 things that I'll be adding to this summer. I think it would be so cool if I could finish all of the orange and yellow squares this summer, but we'll see. I don't know if that's possible, but like that would be amazing. That would be a lot of squares though, but it would be amazing if I could do that. I definitely want to, like, if I don't get that far, I really want to finish the moon, because it's kind of a big piece of the picture. Yeah, I would really like to do that. If the temperature ends in 9, I am working on a blanket for my littlest for this winter holiday. It is a corner to corner. It lives at my boyfriend's house, so I'll put in a picture here from last month's update video. I don't have a current one right now. It takes me more than 30 minutes to do a row, I think. I don't know. I haven't actually timed it. But I'll set a timer and work on as much of that as I can when that's the project. The thing about that though is I'm going to pull the number probably early in the morning so I know what I'm working on. But it lives at my boyfriend's house, so it'll get worked on when it gets worked on throughout the day. And if the temperature ends in 0, I will be working on a spinning project. So my spinning project is, one of them is in this box right now. The other one is at my boyfriend's house. And I'm working on 2 drop spindle projects. I will set a 30-minute timer and I will spin for 30 minutes, or maybe I'll set 2 15-minute timers and spin for 15 minutes. We'll see what the attention span is for the spinning. It'll depend on how hot it is and what I'm doing and things like that. 20 minutes is like the top end of my attention span for spinning, so it'll probably be 2 15-minute sessions, but that's okay. And that will get me good progress on my spinning. I'm really, really excited for this 100 days project. Hopefully this year I can do all 100 days. But if I can't, that's okay. It means that if I choose to do the 100-day project in the future, I will have more data to understand what is a more reasonable plan for me. And that's great. That's great. Challenges are just that. They're things to challenge ourselves. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. Like if you put forth good effort but you don't meet the goal, that's okay. Change the goal. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this. It should be really good. And I'm excited to start on my birthday, which is very, very soon. All right, friends. Thank you so, so much for watching. Are you doing any challenges this summer? I feel like I already asked that in my summer sock basket video, but again, are you planning on anything? Have you been inspired now to maybe try something? If you don't want to do a full 100 days, I also think it would be fun to do, like, just pick a month to do a temperature themed, like, not project, but challenge. Because I've done temperature projects before and they are cool, but not really something that I want to do again. But a temperature challenge, I like it a lot. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, ask any questions you have below in the comments. I love having dialogue with you, and subscribe if this is your first video and you like what you saw and you want to see what I get up to over the summer, because I am planning, like I did last year, I am planning to post my daily progress to Instagram stories. So I'm Bunnyfish over on Instagram if you want to follow along and see what that is. If you want to tag me, if you decide you want to do a 100-day project sort of challenge or any sort of temperature challenge, please tag me. I'd love to see your stuff. And at the end of the challenge, either at the end of the 100 days or when I have to call it quits for practical purposes, I will put up a compilation video of what my progress looks like throughout the summer. All right, friends, I'm super, super excited, but I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.